Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for another episode of Is It Worth My Time? And this time around, if I can get my microphone in the right spot, there we go. It's Marvel's Werewolf by Night, which is on Disney Plus, which is a movie too, by the way. So let me take care of some business first, and we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, if you can, please hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you can, hit that like button and the share button as well. And if you feel lucky or feel like gambling, you can hit that bell down below, and YouTube may or may not notify you when I come on live. Best thing to do is go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it out every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media and all the links to my pages as well. All righty, let's do a spoiler-free version of this first, okay? If I can do that. So, this is on Disney Plus. This is a one-shot, if you will. It is a movie. It's about 55 minutes long, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see again. I think that's what it is. It's 55 minutes long. Yes, 52 minutes long, actually. So it's fairly short. Well, it doesn't feel short. That's the whole thing. It actually feels like a good, good length movie. It's in black and white, like I said, and there is a werewolf, yes. Uh, and what this is, it's a group. It's based on a Marvel comic from the 70s, 1972, 73 to be exact, somewhere around there. And this is more in the vein of like the Hammer films, the Hammer horror films, also the Universal monster movies, that kind of stuff. That's the way they've shot it. That's the way it is presented, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. And there's also another monster in it, which I'm not going to name at the moment in the spoiler-free version, just in case you're going to go and see it. But it is worth your time. It's well worth your time. This, I think, is going to be a classic Halloween movie later on down the road. People are going to watch it, a couple of years down the line, and I think it's going to hold up fairly well. Um, of course, we have the main character who we've been following. Actually, there's two main characters, really, but Jack Russell, he's our werewolf, which of course it's always a play on words. Jack Russell is what the original character's name was in the comics as well. Yes, Jack Russell Terrier, you get all of that. Gail Garcia Bernal is the one who plays that character. Great job there. And Elsa Bloodstone is played by Laura Donnelly. Laura Donnelly from the Nevers. So yes, she is there as well. And yeah, I did love the opening sequence of all of that. So it's good casting. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of world building actually within this just 52 minutes of it, and they do a good job of bringing the supernatural into all of this. Now, are any other characters, Marvel characters involved in this? There is one main Marvel character that comes into all of this. As I said, I'm not going to say anything more than that until we get to the spoiler versions. So, if you like a good old fashioned horror movie, and by the way, there is violence in it, but if you watched Supernatural, any episode of Supernatural, you've seen just about as much violence as you're going to see in this movie as well. They did a good job of it, I have to admit. I was kind of surprised. I thought Disney was going to go real cheap on the horror aspect of it, but they didn't. They actually did a good TV horror movie. Yes, she was in Outlander as well, but the Nevers is where she's been standing out, quite honestly. Raymond says, "Is there an option to put it in color? I can't stand black and white." No, it's there's no option to put it in color. So that is the way it was shot in color originally, but they made it into black and white. Um, there are some color aspects to it. That's all I can say. Now, with the spoiler-free version out of the way, spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the movie. If you have not seen the movie, go and watch it. Come on back. This will be a video you can comment down below in the comment section. All right. Giving you time to hit pause, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Penn says partway through, I realized the black and white wasn't bothering me at all. I actually really liked it. I used to watch a lot of black and white TV shows, I guess you could say. Abbott and Costello, The Little Rascals, also just black and white movies, things of that nature growing up. So black and white movies and TV shows never really bothered me. I looked at those as classics, and yeah, it actually is pretty decent. And the black and white can be used fairly well in different aspects. This is actually used fairly well in a classic sense. They really want to evoke that horror, the old horror movies from the 50s, 60s, 70s, somewhere around there. More in the 50s and the 60s, I would say. Again, like I said, the Hammer horror films, the Universal monster movies, things of that nature, and that's what it feels like. We get that vibe, and it's from the black and white mainly. I think if they had done it in color, it wouldn't have done it justice, quite honestly. So, what I really loved here was the inclusion of Man Thing. So Man Thing it's Man Thing's MCU debut as well as Werewolf by Night, and bringing that character in and the way they brought him in and the personality that they gave a character that doesn't really speak was really awesome. I mean, they did a great job of conveying that. And again, like I said, it's only 52 minutes long and it feels so much longer because it's one of those things that it actually does a lot of world building in that small amount of time. And this is made, the director of this is actually a composer. So he's a music composer for films. And I believe this might be his first directing job, if I'm not mistaken. And he does a great job of this. This is fun. This is something I'm going to go back and watch again because of how it was done. And yes, there are cheesy acting moments. That's the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like like the old Hammer horror movies. So this is the way it's supposed to be done. And like I said, the color aspects of it, the bloodstone shines red in this black and white visage. There we go. You can actually say that word. And then at the very end of all of this, once everything is over with and Elsa Bloodstone is sitting there, we have the color bleed out from the Bloodstone into the rest of the scene and everything turns to color. Kind of like, you know, uh, Wizard of Oz. Yeah. Yeah, give it a try, Raymond. It's definitely it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. Sirius says, "Hey, all Dennis. Hey, thanks, Sirius. Thanks for coming in." CBM says, "I think it's the third. The third. Uh, but yeah, this is a really, really good entry into the Marvel universe. I liked this. They did a great job of this. Also, the whole thing with Jack Russell, talking about so the whole story of him coming in as a hunter to vie for the control of the Bloodstone, which Ulysses Bloodstone has passed away. His daughter Elsa Bloodstone has been pretty much disowned. She doesn't want anything to do with him. And if you go back into the comics, Ulysses he was immortal, and he found the Bloodstone in around 8,000 something BC. So he's been around for a good long while, and he made Elsa fight monsters when she was a baby, kind of thing, as a rite of passage. So this is the kind of evil shit that he had done to her in the comics, and that's why she wanted nothing to do with him. And yes, in the comics, she does end up getting the Bloodstone after Ulysses dies, and the Bloodstone grants different powers. In this aspect, you're able to force monsters to show their true selves and become their true selves. In Jack Russell's case, the werewolf when it's not a full moon, and also it grants the wearer immortality. And Elsa usually in the comics would wear as a choker. Ulysses actually had it embedded in his chest. So Raymond says, "How is this related to Moon Knight again? Weren't there Easter eggs in the show?" Not that I saw, Raymond, But then again, I only went through once, so I didn't see all the Easter eggs, and I haven't read anything about Easter eggs on that. Oh, the third directing role. Thank you, CBM, of the director of this. This is his third directing role. Perfect. Thank you, CBM. Yeah. Um, so yeah, everyone does a great job here. I love the even the little backstory about when they're trapped in the crypt and they have no way out, Jack and Elsa. And Elsa just says this story about her father when he tried to scare her was that her aunt always thought that she'd come back from the dead. So she made an exit plan out of the crypt. And so she breaks into her aunt's crypt, into her aunt's coffin, because it's there in the mausoleum that they're in. And she's reaching inside and like pulling out an arm. She pulls out the skull. And then she's like, oh, there it is. And she pulls out a set of keys to get out of the mausoleum, which is, again, it's just a brilliant little piece in there of that moves. It doesn't slow the story down in any way. It just keeps the story moving and the momentum going in this. It doesn't slow anything down. And again, like I said, it's a lot of world building and keeping that momentum going of the story. Um, and that's what you want. You want a natural, tight storyline in all of this, and they do a great job. They really do. Um, CBM says, speaking about composers, though, he really did a great job in the music. It almost seamless, speaks well to your composer. Yes, exactly. He does a great job of that as well. CBM says Moon Knight had references to Werewolf by Night, but that may just be because Moon Knight was introduced in Werewolf by Night comics. Correct. Yes. There were some nods to Werewolf by Night in Moon Knight, but I didn't see vice versa. So um, and again, like I said, the cinematography is good in this. The music's good in this. The acting's good in this. You don't get shaky cam. Everything is done like classic monster movie shooting with the camera locked down, if you will, and then just changing scenes is what you're doing. You're moving the camera around those scenes, and it's actually kind of refreshing to watch that again, to see something like that happen again in something like this. So, yeah, really good. Even the fight scenes, same thing. I mean, you have hunters fighting hunters within the maze because they're all hunting Man Thing. And that's the whole thing was the hunters were to fight Man Thing, who had the bloodstone embedded in his back, which weakened him. And Jack was there to rescue, you know, Man Thing, or Ted as he's called. And the hunters could kill each other within the maze as well in order to go after this. But they were supposed to kill the beast so they could get the bloodstone and they would become the new owner of the bloodstone. So yeah, that one fight scene, I agree with you that it, they're all actually pretty brutal. I really do like how they also portrayed Man Thing's powers. So his powers are if you have fear and he touches you, you burn. You usually burn from within and also without as well. It's almost like acid in a way. And they did Kirby Crackle. If you don't know what Kirby Crackle is, Google it and you'll see what I mean. Kirby Crackle is these black spheres that kind of permeate either like eyes or space. You know, you have a background like a cosmic background, which would be like a light blue or something with some Kirby Crackle in there, and then you know, black around it as well. And it's named after Jack Kirby, of course. They do Kirby Crackle in Man Thing's eyes. Um, Also, when he's burning people, they do Kirby Crackle that way as well. It's it's actually really beautiful. I mean, I can't say enough about this, about how good this is. This is kind of a culmination of a lot of Marvel stuff coming together and working well. This is, I would say, almost Marvel's best thing to date, to tell you the truth. Just because there's some little things that could be changed to make it even better, but it's quibbling points at that point. This is actually a really well done homage to both other movies and also the comic as well. So it's definitely worth your time. Give it a shot. Yes, Raymond, go and watch it, even though it's black and white. So it's not that long to watch. Like I said, 52 minutes. So give it a try. All right. With that said, what else do I have going on for the rest of this week? Well, tomorrow is going to be Andor. Andor continues its slow crawl to a heist. I think we're going to have them cleaning guns next episode. Also, they're probably going to be twining the rope that they're going to be using for the heist. Is there more werewolf coming? I don't know, Pen. They haven't said anything about it. This is the one-off that we've heard, but that's about it. So yes, Andor is going to be tomorrow. Thursday is going to be the season finale of She-Hulk, and there is going to be a prize giveaway, which is going to be a little bit different than you know, everything else that I've been doing here. Friday is going to be a double episode of Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. I'm going to do episode 7 and 8 back to back. I'm going to do them together and just make it as one long episode. And that's also the season finale of Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. And then Saturday, I'm going to be off. Sunday will be the Sunday edition of Saturday Morning Blast Off, where I take the genre news of the week and any genre stuff you guys want to talk about. We talk about it. Monday will be House of the Dragon, and then we roll back around to Tuesday. Is it worth my time? I don't know what I'm doing as of yet, so we'll figure something out. Yes, it will be pornographic in retrospect. CBM says, I imagine the characters will show back up because it was so well liked. I hope so, CBM. And also, I mean, Man Thing doesn't age. He's fairly immortal. Elsa Bloodstone is now going to be immortal because she has the Bloodstone gem. And I believe Jack Russell, there's been different incarnations of Werewolf by Night. They've been different people as well. So I don't know if he's going to show up in Blade, to tell you the truth, Raymond, because this looks like it was set around the 40s, either the 40s or the 50s. We never really get a time frame on it, and Blade is supposed to be modern era, so we don't know. I mean, Elsa could show up, maybe a descendant of Jack Russell might show up, and I don't think Man Thing's going to show up, but there might be some kind of reference to Man Thing. I would see it more probably in like Ghost Rider, whenever there's a Ghost Rider movie that's going to happen. Things of that nature. Blade right now has actually been delayed as well because they lost their director. And since they're on the hunt for a new director, they have Marvel, I should say, has postponed it and moved it back on the schedule. So it was post 70s, according to the. Oh, okay. So it was set in the 70s then. Got it. CBM. Thanks. So yeah, if you set it in the 70s, I mean, still, I mean, Elsa would be okay. Man Thing would be okay because they're both immortal. Jack Russell would be kind of pushing it. I mean, you think he's, in his 40s then, so making it to, the 2020s, he's going to be, you know, in his 90s, somewhere around there, most likely, or close to it. Probably his 80s or his 90s. So I'm guessing there's going to be either a descendant or someone else is going to have the werewolf curse. If you were to do a modern day version of that, because I don't think he's going to be immortal. That's not part of the werewolf curse. So, but good stuff. Go and watch it. Have fun with it. I mean, that's really what this is all about. It's one of those popcorn movies, munching kind of movies that you're gonna sit back and have fun with on Halloween. It's not a quote unquote gross out horror movie by any stretch of the means. It's very very much a like a Universal movie, Universal monster movie, and well done in that respect as well. And I guess Kevin Feige really didn't want this to be black and white until he was actually halfway through the filming of it, because they were shooting it all in color. They shot it all in color, and the director was actually had another separate screen that he could watch it all in black and white as well to see how it would look. And when he cut it together, at least the first half of it, and showed it to Kevin Feige in the black and white, he was like, "Okay, I see what you're talking about." And that's why they went black and white with it. So, yeah. They'll probably release a color version of it at some point as well. You know that it's Disney. So there'll probably be a digital version out there, or a DVD or something like that. I'm probably, if they release like a 4K, a 4K Blu-ray on this one, I'll pick it up because it's worth it. It's definitely worth it to have it in the collection over here. So with that said, I'm going to let you guys go for the rest of the night. I will see you guys again tomorrow for Andor. Thank you to everybody who joined me tonight in the chat. And thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, you know who you are out there. Take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos of my vast video library and pops it up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button if you can, please. And also, if you can, hit that like button and the share button as well. And if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it out every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media and all the links to my pages as well. See what you got. See that link over there in the chat that Penn's got going on there. And with that said, I'm going to let you guys go. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may be captured and have the bloodstone attached to your back because they think you're a monster. You got monster hunters hunting after you, and no one wants that. It's just not worth it. Thanks, everybody. I will see you guys again tomorrow. Until then, stay safe, be well, take care, wear those masks, get those vaccine shots, and get the boosters as well because they don't work without the boosters. Thanks, everybody. I will see you guys tomorrow. Hey, Senior Sticks. Good night, Senior Sticks. You came in at the last minute. I will see you guys again tomorrow. Have a good rest of your night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night, everyone.